The Galactic Council chamber hummed with the usual cacophony of alien languages, each species convinced of their own superiority. Elsa stood at the entrance, her boots making soft thuds against the polished crystalline floor. A floor designed to withstand plasma blasts and the weight of species 3 times her size. Another human? Chittered Ambassador Zelenth, his mantis-like body swaying with amusement. How quaint. What diplomatic disaster brings Earth's representatives today? Elsa smiled, the expression not quite reaching her eyes. 6 months in space had taught her patience, but the casual dismissal of humanity still stung. Behind her, Verk adjusted the gravitational compensator on his belt, the device keeping him upright in the station's standard 0.4G environment, a compromise between the various species. That called this place home. We're here to discuss Earth's application for full council membership, Verk said, his voice steady despite the way his muscles ached from constant adjustment. The compensator helped, but it couldn't eliminate the disorienting lightness that made every movement feel like swimming through air. A ripple of laughter spread through the assembled delegates. The Korthani representative, a gelatinous being that pulsed with bioluminescence, wobbled with mirth. Membership? Your species can barely leave your own atmosphere without extensive modification. You're gravity-bound primitives. Your people evolved in 9.8 meters per second squared, added the Valorian ambassador, her crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into rainbow patterns. The rest of civilized space operates between 0.3 and 0.5. You're literally too heavy for the galaxy. Elsa reached into her jacket pocket, feeling the familiar weight of her fountain pen, a graduation gift from her father, ancient technology by galactic standards but cherished nonetheless. Her fingers wrapped around it as she stepped forward, deliberately turning off her own gravitational compensator with a subtle tap on her wrist device. The change was immediate. Where moments before she'd felt like a balloon threatening to float away, now she felt solid. Real. Her boots connected with the floor with authority that made several nearby delegates flinch. May I ask a question? Elsa said, her voice cutting through the laughter. Chancellor Drexmore, a towering reptilian who presided over the council, gestured with one clawed hand. Speak, human, though I doubt you'll say anything to change our assessment. How much force does it take to crack this floor? Elsa held up her pen, letting the light catch its metallic surface. Zelenth's compound eyes focused on the small object. That floor is reinforced quantum crystalline composite. It would require approximately 50,000 newtons of force concentrated in a small area. Why do you ask such a ridiculous? Elsa dropped the pen. In the station's 0.4G environment, the pen should have drifted downward lazily, taking over a second to fall the 1.5 meters to the floor. Instead, it plummeted like a meteor. The sound it made upon impact was like a thunderclap, a sharp, devastating crack that echoed through the chamber. The pen hadn't just hit the floor, it had punched through it, leaving a spiderweb of fractures radiating outward from a neat circular hole. Fragments of the supposedly indestructible composite skittered across the surface. Silence descended like a shroud. Verk stepped forward, his own compensator still off, and placed a data pad on the nearest console. Gravity differential analysis, he said calmly. When an object from Earth's 1G environment is dropped in your 0.4G environment, while maintaining its original gravitational field through personal compensation technology, it retains its momentum. That pen weighed 30 grams. In 1G, falling from 1.5 meters, it hit with approximately 0.44 joules of energy, not enough to crack anything. He paused, letting the equation scroll across the holographic display. But we've been living in your low-gravity environments. Our muscles, our bones, everything about us has been compensating. That pen was pulling 1G in a 0.4G environment. The differential force was concentrated into an area of approximately 1 square centimeter. Elsa picked up where he left off, walking slowly around the chamber, her footsteps now the loudest sound in the room. We're not too heavy for the galaxy, Chancellor. We're too strong. Every human you see walking around your stations, your ships, your worlds, we're carrying the weight of 2.5 times your standard gravity on our bones. Our muscles are constantly working against a force you can't even imagine. She stopped in front of the Korthani ambassador. You called us primitives, but we evolved climbing out of gravity wells that would crush most of your species. Every step we take out here, we're holding back. Every handshake is carefully calibrated so we don't break your appendages. Verk pulled up another display showing video footage. This is from our military training. Basic exercises. Notice the weight plates on the soldiers? In Earth gravity, those are 20 kilograms each. In your standard environment, they'd feel like less than 8. Now watch what happens when we switch to your standard gravity for the same exercise. The video showed human soldiers moving with frightening speed and precision, leaping heights that would be impossible for most species, striking training dummies that shattered under impacts that registered on the kinetic meters. We've been handicapping ourselves, Elsa continued, being polite, fitting in. But you want to know why Earth should have full council membership? Because when the Zarketh hive comes knocking, and your intelligence reports say they will within the next solar cycle, you're going to need soldiers who can fight in any gravity. You're going to need ships that can withstand acceleration forces that would liquefy most of your species. You're going to need humans. Chancellor Drexmoor's tail swished thoughtfully, his reptilian eyes narrowing. That pen, he began. A warning, Verk said quietly. We came here for diplomacy. We'll always choose peace, but understand what you're dismissing. Every human walking through this station could do that. Not just with pens, with anything we carry from home. Elsa reached down, carefully extracted her pen from the shattered floor and slipped it back into her pocket. We're not asking for special treatment. We're offering partnership. Earth brings something to the galaxy that no one else can, the ability to thrive where others would be crushed. The silence stretched for a long moment. Finally, the Chancellor's voice rumbled across the chamber. Motion to fast-track Earth's application for full council membership. All in favor? The chamber lit up with affirmative votes.